Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the analysis of Yoleno TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, there is a talk of William Samoei Ruto touring the Luo Nyanza. And in the wake of these talks, we've seen a lot of activities from CS ELIUD OWALLO, the ICT CS. And ELIUD OWALLO has been camping in the Sia County trying to woo the Luo people or the Luo Nyanza into welcoming William Samoei Ruto for this trip. You know, we know that ELIUD OWALLO is now an employee of William Samoei Ruto. Now, ELIUD OWALLO will want to do everything possible to outsmart RAILA Odinga in the Luo Nyanza. But we've noticed that there are two mistakes that ELIUD OWALLO will make. Two mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. Before we delve deep into these two mistakes that we think ELIUD OWALLO is likely to make, please take a moment and subscribe to this channel. Now, on to our first mistake. ELIUD OWALLO will want to badmouth RAILA Odinga. This is something that Miguna tried. Raphael Tuju in the year 2006 tried. This is something that James Orengo and Anyang' Nyong'o tried during those days of Moi era. None of those people that are mentioned succeeded in badmouthing RAILA Odinga. That means there is a close tie, a deep tie between RAILA Odinga family and the Luo Nyanza at large. Why do I think that badmouthing RAILA Odinga will be the worst mistake that CS ELIUD OWALLO will make? One, in politics, it is believed that politics is a dirty game. And it's perhaps the reason why the people like Bishop Margaret Wanjiru cannot become politicians, despite the fact that Margaret Wanjiru has been trying to be a politician. Because to be a politician, you must be able to badmouth your colleague. Second, Pius Muiru tried his luck in 2007 and suffered a huge blow when he could not even get 1 million votes, not even 1 million, but 100,000 votes in that presidential election. That meant that there is something that Pius Muiru did not do that could not get him to get a sizable number of votes. That is playing the politics is a dirty game kind of thing. In politics, you must be able to badmouth the other person for you to get that political mileage. So CS ELIUD OWALLO will try to badmouth RAILA Odinga so that he can get the Luo Nyanza people to rally behind William Samoei Ruto. Mind you, the people in the Luo Nyanza backyard are still not happy with the outcome of this general election. So the biggest mistake that CS ELIUD OWALLO will make is to badmouth RAILA Odinga at a time when these people are still feeling the pinch, at a time where these people have already seen openly that there is tribalism in the appointments of government positions. So the second point that I think, or the second mistake that ELIUD OWALLO will make is this. ELIUD OWALLO will attempt to pronounce himself as a kingpin of the Luo Nyanza, because we know that is what he's aiming. The problem that we find with this plan is that there is the Miguna factor, there is Evans Kidero factor, and then we have a host of other leaders, especially Obado, who also want to become a Luo kingpin. Mind you, Obado has a party, PDP, that he wants to be a formidable party within the Luo Nyanza. And this is not going to work for him because Obado still has a huge task ahead of him before he can pronounce himself as a Luo kingpin. Now, the problem that we find with this pronunciation of Luo kingpin is that in Western Kenya, Mudavadi and Wetangula have not been in agreement over the same. None of them has been able to give the other party a position or a chance to be a kingpin. In the Mount Kenya region, the same problem is existing, and at the moment is the reason why Gachagua is politically burying himself, because he wants to become a political kingpin by force. He is trying to wrestle this Mount Kenya backyard from Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, so that the people within the Mount Kenya can rally behind him. And this is not working for him. And the reason why he makes those little mistakes by pronouncing himself as, by literally pronouncing himself as a tribal kingpin. We've seen the same problem in the coastal area, whereby Joe and Amason Jeffa Kingi cannot be on the same page. But the reason being is one wants to become a kingpin. So in the Luo Nyanza, we don't see a scenario whereby now CS ELIUD OWALLO will want to relinquish this position to Miguna, who has also pronounced himself as a Luo kingpin. So all these people will not survive the wrath of Raila Odinga should Raila Odinga come back to reclaim his kingpinmanship. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Luo Nyanza people are indebted to Raila Odinga family. Let me remind you, or let me take you back to the days of the post-colonial era, whereby there was a land grabbing spree, and we found that there are regions like the Mount Kenya, regions like the Rift Valley and the coast, whereby there was massive land grabbing spree. And in the Luo Nyanza, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga made sure that this land grabbing spree did not work or did not succeed. So the people in the Luo Nyanza are indebted to the Oginga Odinga family. So what is CS ELIUD OWALLO? What does CS ELIUD OWALLO have in store that can make the Luo Nyanza people to rally behind him? Of course, it's nothing. The only thing he brings on the table is that he is a CS and that people should rally behind him because he is a CS. So this is not going to work for CS ELIUD OWALLO because he's not the first minister in the Luo Nyanza. We've seen ELIUD, we've seen Anyang' Nyong'o, we saw James Orengo, we've seen a host of other leaders within the Luo Nyanza who were ministers before him. So he cannot purport to, want to change the mindset of Luo Nyanza people to rally behind him and RUTO because he is a cabinet minister. This is not going to work. So that's why I pronounced this second point, the kingmanship, as being a second mistake that will cause a deep rebellion between the Luo Nyanza people and CS ELIUD OWALLO. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly share your opinions below the comment section regarding this narrative of Luo kingmanship. Is it possible for the Luo people or the Luo Nyanza to rally behind William Samoei Ruto and decide to denounce Raila Odinga? Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section. And once again, I'd like to urge any visitor, any viewer who doesn't subscribe to this channel to please consider supporting Yoleno TV by subscribing to it. Once again, please stay safe, stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.